Welcome to the second video of Python tutorial series. In this video, we are going to learn some basics of PyCharm editor. We are also going to learn about writing the code and what is a variable and different data types in Python. We have already seen in the previous video how to install Python and how to install PyCharm. So right now PyCharm is open and this is the place where we are going to write all our programs. The file which is open is first.py. .py is the Python file extension. So now I'm going to say print and I'm going to display a message, my first program. So this is a program which is going to display a message. Remember, in the print statement, right now I have used double quotes. But as we go on, we will see that there are different ways we use, different syntax we use in a print statement. But at the moment, because I want to display this string, I've placed it in double quotes. Now we want to run this program, so I will click on the run menu and I will say run. So as you can see, the output is displayed at the bottom. This is a kind of terminal window we have. We have few options here. One is the run option where we see the program output. Here we have to do that we will see in future. We have terminal as well. Remember, terminal is a kind of interface where you can try various commands. Same commands you can try on the operating system command prompt as well. But let's say here I want to see which is the version of Python installed on my computer. So I can say Python -- version. As you can see, the output is Python 3.7.4. So that's the version installed of Python. This is a terminal window where you can try various commands, and as I mentioned, when you click here on run, you will see the output. Alright, so we have seen the print statement and we have seen the output as well. There is one more thing which is in all programming language, and that is how to make comments, how to write comments. In Python, when you want to write comments, you can start that line with a hash sign. You press Shift and 3 to write the hash. So whatever you write here, let's say this is a comment. Then this comment is not going to be executed. I can write here, this is also a comment. So you are writing some additional lines to make your program more readable. From the developer's perspective, when you want to add comments, you write that with hash sign when it comes to Python. Remember, comments are not getting executed. So when I run, the output is going to be the same. But when you want to add some information about the pieces of code, then you can write some user-friendly comments. So to write comments, you have a hash sign in Python. In traditional programming languages, we see that we have multi-line comment option as well. But in Python, all the lines begin with hash sign are treated as comments. Alright, so now we are going to discuss about variables. When I say variable, that means it varies. A value which can be changed in a variable. The normal definition of a variable is it's a temporary memory location. But as we go on, you will have a clear idea about what a variable is. So I do not want to get into a lot of technicality or technical definitions which confuses. So first of all, let's start using a variable. I'm going to create a variable called name. So this is a variable name and I give an equal to sign to assign a value to this variable. For example, I just want to say hello. That is the value I have assigned. Now as you can see that name is the name of the variable, equal to is an assignment operator, and I have returned the value in double quotes. Why am I writing this in double quotes? Because hello is a string. If I have a number, let's say I have a variable called a where I want to store a number, maybe 560. So name is a string variable whereas a is a numeric variable. Let's try to print value of these two variables first. So I'll say print name and I'll say print the second statement and I will display the value of a. So now let's run this program. If you observe in the output window, you will see that the value of name and value of a is displayed. So this is just a basic try to know how to declare a variable, how to declare a string variable, how to declare a numeric variable. Now here when I say string or a number, as you can see, it's a data type. It is the type of value which you are storing in a variable. We have different data types in Python. We have numbers, float, string, boolean, and many other. We are going to understand each and every data type in detail. But right now, we have created a string where I just want to show that if you write double quotes or single quotes, it is one and the same thing. So for example, I have a variable where I want to store a string, but I am not putting double quotes and just giving a single quote. Then also it's going to work fine. It matters when we want to print a single quote or a double quote, and that we are going to see in our forthcoming tutorials, how to print a single quote or a double quote. So now we have created this program which contains a string variable and a number, a numeric variable. Now let us try to understand different data types we have in Python. And to understand that, let's create a program which has a string, number, float, and different types of values. For that, let's say I want to create a program which has a product name, product price, product code, and various other details of a product. Let's say first of all, I want to have a product name. Now just observe this. I'll say product name is equal to, for example, the product is orange. I have defined a variable called product name where I have the value called orange. Now here, as a part of best practice about defining a variable, generally we should segregate each and every word of entire variable. Like in this case, I want to have product and name defined together, but at the same time I want to have a separator, so it makes more sense when I read the variable name. Now I cannot have spaces in between. I cannot write like this, product space name. In Python, normally what we do when we want to separate words of a variable, we put an underscore. This is a very common practice we follow in Python. If it is C# or Java, generally we follow Pascal case where you write like this, product name, where you have P and N capital. If you have JavaScript, then we write in camel case. So I say product N capital only. So P is not capital but N is capital. This is camel case which we write in JavaScript. Every programming languages have their own way of defining variables. Just to repeat this, the one which I have written here is Pascal case. This is camel case. Even we have snake case that we see generally in CSS. We can write like this, product dash name. So when we have HTML or CSS, often we see that variables or keys are written like this. So this is a snake case, this is a camel case, this one is a Pascal case. But the one which we are writing in Python is with an underscore. This is just a brief details about different cases we follow in programming world. Now we have a string variable defined. Let's also try to define a number. Let me say product underscore code. This is going to be 1001. Now this becomes a numeric value. Let us also say price. I want to define price as maybe 30.50. So when you have a decimal place, that means price becomes a float variable. I want to keep track of product is available or not. So I will say is underscore available. Now this is a Boolean value. That means you have true or false stored in this variable. Let's say I have the product available, so I will say true. Remember, when you are assigning a Boolean value, you always write either capital T true or capital F false, right? If you write small false or maybe entire word in capital, then it doesn't become a Boolean value. So when you want to assign a valid Boolean value, make sure that T or F is in capital when you write true or false. So now we have a string, a number, a float, and a Boolean value. Let's try to display all these values. So I will say print product name. Now let's try to display all the values together with a print statement. We have many ways to join a string. You can use a plus sign also, but at the moment we are not discussing the plus sign, and the reason is we have to understand a concept called typecasting. So we'll dig into data types in detail. At that time we'll have a discussion on typecasting. So we are not using plus for the moment, but what I will do, I will say comma, I want to say product code, that also I want to display, then I want to display price, and of course whether the product is available or not. So all the values either I display with a different statement, or you can display all values together. Let's try to run this and see what is the output. As you can see in the terminal, we have the orange 1001, the float value, and of course the boolean value. These are 4 basic data types we have seen so far in Python. We have more options in data types, but at the moment we are discussing 4 basic data types, that is string, number, float, and a boolean value. Boolean is nothing but true or false. Now we have defined all the variables on a new line. Python gives a fantastic way, an easy way to declare all variables together. To do that, let's try to put a comma, and I will just cut this product code variable name and I'll put it after the product name, right? Then I'll say comma price, comma is underscore available. Now first value I have is orange, that is, then 1001, comma let's say 30.50, and the last value is true. Now I will remove all these lines. So all the declarations and assignments are written on one line. Let me also change the product name so that we get the idea that new value is displayed. I'll make it Apple, and now let's run this. Now as you can see in the terminal, we have the new set of data displayed. So this is another way to declare a variable. You can have single line declaration as well. It depends on your program, whether you have many variables, you have few variables. Depending on that, you decide whether you want to go with this particular syntax or the one we tried before few moments. So these are the basic data types we have discussed. In the next section, we are going to discuss few more data types and some advanced topics.